Oh, it's gonna get fun tonight.
This is Moose, and you're watching Wrestling with Wrestling.com.
Chezza, the Casual Fan Podcast, and you are now tuned in to WrestlingWithWrestling.com.
What's up? You're chilling with GMTM from Casual Fan Podcast. You're now watching Wrestling with Wrestling.
This is Stephen S. from the Casual Fan Podcast, and you're tuning in with WrestlingWithWrestling.com.
What's up, everybody? This is The Godfather, and you're watching Wrestling with Wrestling.com.
Brian Cage, you're watching Wrestling with Wrestling.
Here on Shot Club Business during Casual Fan Hours.
I didn't want to tape it. Yo, what up? This is Chezza.
Trace Motivate.
Slim is missing for the moment. He might show up. You never know. I think he's a ghost. He's a ghost that just, like, I don't want to say pops up, but he appears. And oh, yeah, Candyman.
He's a Candyman.
I wonder if we say Slim that many times. So many times? I said it twice already. Keep the count. We'll see when he appears.
Okay.
But, yeah, this is the Casual Fan Podcast, you know, where we talk Marvel shit, which I really haven't heard anything new about at the moment.
There's been a few things, actually.
What's that?
They've resumed filming. So.
Oh, yes. I saw the Shang-Chi stuff, actually.
Shang-Chi's going back into filming. So is Loki, Winter Soldier, and Falcon, and WandaVision. Okay. They're all going back in. And they're casting for a villain for Spider-Man 3. And they said the particular name of the person. And when you look at him, people are like, that's probably Craven that they're looking for.
What's his name?
I can't, Joel Kinnaman. He was in another movie where he was like a military. He's got the look. He's got the hunter look. He's got the CIA, FBI, hunt him down type look. So people are speculating that he's going to be playing Kraven the Hunter for Spider-Man 3. And
Joel Kinnaman
or something like that.
Oh, let me see if I find him.
Yeah. What else? There was someone else was confirmed too. Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I heard something about that. He's confirmed for Loki.
Yeah, and they're saying he might be playing Kang the Conqueror.
So then he's going to be all over the place.
We're going into the multiverse too. So
yeah, so damn, that's a big move, actually.
Yeah,
that's a big move for Owen Wilson. He's awake.
Multiverse.
He's awake. I know, that is a multiverse, eh? He just jumped into the Casual Fan universe.
Multiverse of grilling.
A Shot Club multiverse into the Casual Fan. Well, Shot Club multiverse is already here.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Meh.
But yeah. It looks like a lot of stuff is happening in Marvel now that they're resuming filming on certain projects. So
Right.
And
that's good, though, because it's about time.
Yeah, and New Mutants supposedly is dropping on Disney Plus September 4th.
Okay, so they're going to do it on there. Why not?
Yeah. So.
Like, I don't even know if they started opening up theaters yet. I know it's phase 3, so they opened up a lot of shit. I think, like, everything's supposed to be open, but I haven't really heard anything. Say that again?
They've opened theaters out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cineplex, they're even doing the $2.99 Tuesdays.
Damn.
For the rollout, so
they're just trying to get anybody in there. Ram it.
Little too soon for me, but
Yeah. I still can catch a bootleg here and there. I'm all right.
Plus, okay. I have Disney Plus, so I'm paying them every monthly. So
yeah, I have Disney Plus, I have Netflix, and Amazon Prime. I got a lot on my plate.
I have all those, and I just got the URL app about a month ago. So. But I'm getting the most. I'm probably getting more out of that and Disney Plus than anything. So
yeah, Netflix is here and there. It's like when Netflix good shows pop up,
Netflix too.
You hate it, but then like it's kind of died down now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, So to wrestling. Did you catch any wrestling this past week?
You know what? This is one of the few episodes of Casual Fan I was just not looking forward to talking wrestling because I'm slowly just tuning everything out.
So where would you like to start?
Do we want to talk about Fight Club? Can we talk about Fight Club? Because the
Great
first one was
Raw Underground? Yeah, what do you think? Because you know me, I have no problem with it.
I was watching one of the reviews of a channel on YouTube. I watched my reviews, and I was thinking the very same thing. You can have all these matches where people are hitting people with kendo sticks, chairs, people are plucking eyeballs out, but these matches end when someone get kneed to the head. I'm not understanding what you've been doing everything for the past 3 months to be cinematic, to show this as, you know, we're gonna go full all out. You're gonna see the biggest bumps you've ever seen, all this stuff. Okay, now we're gonna do a underground Fight Club type of thing, and then we stop when someone gets kneed in the head. Okay, it's done. We're done. How?
That's true.
And
maybe
why
it
again?
Should be. Well, go ahead.
Why again are we doing? Is this supposed to be like a shoot? Because to me, when I saw it, I was like, it's no different from a scripted brawl for all. And the brawl for all wasn't great.
I don't see it as brawl for all. Brawl for all was like, well, it's in a ring with gloves with no rules. This looks like it's like the Shane McMahon MMA dream. So at least I know like they're following the MMA rules, and that's what he's trying to do.
But I don't necessarily mean like MMA boxing. I mean, what are we trying to prove? What is it?
But
What,
they do have
the
like the
objective
wrestlers that are able to do that. Like if they use the right wrestlers to do it, say like Dolph Ziggler has the wrestling background, Chad Gable has the wrestling background, Shayna MMA. You know what I mean? Like if they use Matt Riddle, you know what I mean? If they use the right people, it'll come across right.
That's great,
But they have to figure it out. Say that again.
What's the objective? Like, is the person who outfights everybody and is the last man standing, do they get like a push, a title push, or is it just
I believe they're going to be bringing a Raw Underground title, like a title specifically only for that show. So it's like this is supposed to be like Shane McMahon's dream. They said this is what he pitched to Vince back before. This is what he wanted to turn ECW into, and Vince was against it. So it's like it's what Shane's wanted to do for a very long time. Like to me, I'm like, okay, let me see where you guys go, because when I saw Hurt Business on it, it was dope. But it's all about what wrestler they have on there. Like they had what's her name, Shayna Baszler this week, and you'd expect it to be like, oh shit, she's gonna go in there, she's gonna fuck everything up. It was nothing. They put her Shayna against 4 people, 4 women, and it was just like it's pretty much what they did Elimination Chamber.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
4 people there, like
it's great. She beat up 4 people. What happens when they decide to squash her push? Then it was all that for nothing.
Well, it all depends on what they're going to do there and who has control of that too. Because if it's like NXT, like Triple H runs NXT, if they allow Shane to just run Raw Underground, truthfully, I hope this Raw Underground becomes like their new WWE Network special. You know what I mean? I don't want it to always be on the show. I want it to be something like they do this after the show. You know what I mean? Maybe they even put down money bets. You know what I mean? Just like something like more raw, more they're cussing, you'll see a little blood, all that little other stuff outside of what the ring, what they can't do in the ring, you know? Because in these, they can't go high flying. They can do flips, but they can't do flips out the ring. Like they take away a lot of shit. So picture like a Daniel Bryan in this. Like you're still gonna twist them up. It could be a lot of submission matches come out of this. Because if they do that
I'd
to
hope so.
submission, then it's like that.
I'd hope so. I mean, like,
But they have to stop saying what's it called? This is shoot fighting compared to wrestling.
that's what I'm saying.
Because if they
Cornette
keep saying this is real, but this isn't, what's the point?
is exactly what Cornette's been saying from the Brawl for All. It's like, if you say this is a shoot, then you downplay everything else that you're making the money off.
Right. All they should say is these are MMA style fights. Just like the wrestling matches are wrestling matches. This is an MMA match. This is a wrestling match. That's it.
Yeah, I would have separate. Like, there's a way to separate it without downplaying.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
like you could say, "Hey, this isn't for everybody."
Exactly.
It's very simple and to the point. And then you see who's fighting, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I get why." You know what I'm saying? So, I
I'll
don't
say,
get like.
what'd be crazy on Raw Underground would be like, say the way that they use Hurt Business and made like almost like Lashley a focal point where he's just like running through people, squashing them, whatever. Then you know how that whole thing, they're like, who's next? Who wants next? Then Brock walks out. Brock walks out like, you think you're nice? Let's go. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And you know that's just going to be hard hitting. That's another thing. It has to be really hard hitting. It has to be less graceful than a wrestling match type thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's
Yeah.
a lot they have to work on. In the end, it's the second week of this new idea, Shane's idea. To me, my buffer is usually like 2-3 months, if it gets even there.
you're
Oh no, what's it
you are
called?
you are much more optimistic than I, my friend.
Listen, I gave AEW 2-3 months. It's my thing. If you're gonna start something new, you have 2-3 months to get me interested. That's it. After that, I feel how I feel. So he has the chance. Did you see that they took the dancers off? So this week they took off the dancers.
See, this is and this is part of my problem with WWE is, and they have the resources to like fully flesh something out and like really present it properly the first time. It seems like they're half-baked ideas and just saying, okay, run with it and we'll tweak it later.
Yeah. Could be
And
possible. They want to see what hits and what doesn't hit.
yeah, I get that, but you still have to have a main objective. What is this doing to get everybody over?
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not going to do it properly, it's just going to fizzle out. And it's just like
it's more like introduction of it. Like instead of introducing it as flash to this new show, all of a sudden you see Shane McMahon and these people fighting behind him. Shane should have came into Raw one day and just called out the whole roster and be like, which one of you guys can fight type thing. Like not wrestling. I want to know who wants to fight. Like no real skills. It's what it is. And then at that point, or they show me in the background looking at guys like, yo, I have a place I need you to be. You know what I mean? I like the way you look. Yo, you're a real strong guy, eh? You know what I mean? And you see him slipping cards to people. And people are like, what is Shane doing? Then at that point, they bring in Raw Underground. And then they're like, oh, okay. But the way that they introduced it was just like, hey, Raw Underground.
Hey, something. It's weird. It's like, okay, if this is the Underground, why are you promoting it like this?
That too.
This whole like you made it as this big song and dance. You had the girls. You had like you're treating it like this prime time show, but it's supposed to be Raw Underground.
It's supposed to be underground.
Not to mention, and I know this is wrestling, so all these things have to be taken with a grain of salt. But didn't we last see Shane in a loser leaves company match?
That's why he created his own.
It's still with the company.
There's a loophole somewhere. Actually, in you saying that could have played way better in the introduction too. With say it goes with the card giving, like, yo, what's Shane doing here? Giving people cards. What is he doing? And he's almost like recruiting people to his underground
But this
fights.
is what I'm talking about. If you look at something like the MCU, and you look at how they tied 22 movies together, like look at the way they wrapped Infinity War and Endgame in a nice bright bow, right?
Yeah.
That takes a lot. You could do that. Like, you have writers from Hollywood in the WWE. Aren't they there for that reason? Like, shouldn't they be like there, like tying storylines? Hey, what happened to them 6 months ago? How can we feed off of that and get heat for this person?
Like, yeah, I don't think no. Obviously, from what even like Cornette says, it's like they don't plan
Yeah, I get
that
that.
far ahead. But to me,
I
I
get
always
that.
wondered that. I'm like, why don't they sit there and plan out a year? Plan out for that year. Who do they want? WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Who do you want? Where do you want the twist to go? And bomb, 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 bomb. So when
Rock
you
and
go
see.
to the wrestler, you're like, this is your movements. Like, in the end, it's almost like a choose your own adventure. If you fuck up, I have someone to take your place anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always that open bridge. So if anything happens, there's always an open bridge to bring that other person into. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there should just be one main story for the year. So when, like you were saying, what's called Rock and Cena type thing, like they told that story from one WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania, then that WrestleMania to another WrestleMania. It was just
Not
like,
just, not just that, but CM Punk got a little bit off of that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
hey, I'm supposed to be in the main event. Like, you guys can have your fight. Like, now you got other people. Like, there's so much you can bounce off of that, like,
And
WWE
nothing
just
is
like
concrete, but at least you have a plan.
something
Yeah.
to show where we could go.
And even in some gaps, you can be like, you don't have to know what you're introducing, but at this time, we need to introduce something new. So
Yeah.
if I have this group of writers, you two, your job is to keep bringing me new shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep bringing me new ideas, see what we can jump with. But yeah, no. This is why I feel like I want to write this story, like the whole fantasy whole league. Write the
Yeah.
story of that promotion and just because it's pretty much you plan it for a year and see where it goes. That's one book. And then you never know what you can do with that story, whatever. But yeah, that's a big reason why I want to do that because you see a lot of shit on TV and you're just like, why?
Yeah. I don't
Pretty
get
much. All he has to do is
But
take a week, sit them down
as,
for a week, and they should be able to plan at least 3 to 6 months. And
as
then,
bad
yeah.
as bad as that was, there's still some sort of hope for that. I have zero interest in these what do they call them? The Renegades or the
Oh, Retribution.
Retribution.
Yeah, Retribution. That's their name.
See,
I
you
don't
did
get
this,
what they're doing right now.
you did this 10 years ago with Nexus,
That too.
and then Cena just beat all of them.
Yeah,
So
that too.
so you're gonna have to do something more than chasing Michael Cole up the ramp and one person holding somebody and punching
I
a person.
don't get it because even though they're doing all this stuff, they're never ran off by security guards. You know what I mean? Like they should be ran off with security guards every time. Every time to show like they're not supposed to be there type thing, but they're coming to ruin the place.
Yeah.
And you know like how WWE used to like doing like videos with like coded words and there's quick why aren't they doing those? Why aren't they doing those? Like
You
let
have
us know what is going on with them.
you have a success story as recent as the Shield, as recent as the first incarnation of Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
It's proven subtlety. Give us some subtlety. Have us think, what is that? Did they ever pay off the hacker?
No.
Never paid off the hacker.
No.
See, I
Supposed to
can't
be
believe
Ali, I believe. The way they said it's supposed to be Ali, but Ali ended up on Raw and that disappeared. Now Retribution's doing what the hacker does. You see, They could have just turned around and said, okay, if Retribution is doing this and the lights are going out and everything, use the hacker. Make the hacker
could've
jump out
tied
and
it.
start throwing stuff on the scene. Like,
They could have tied it.
imagine people are coming out and the wrong music is playing. And they're like, what the hell is going on? And then you see some people in the back. You could even just show people in the back going like, yo, what the hell is going on? And then just...
You could play the old Raw music and have have a camera from inside the trailer. Like, hey, what's going on? Who's
Yeah. Who's running this? Like, what's going on? Like,
have Vincent Gorilla sending Michael Hayes or something. Find out what's going on.
yeah. There's so much they can do with it, but they're not doing with it. I'm assuming they're just like, when we show who they are, all of a sudden they'll be talking what they want. Because I think they're still trying to figure out what they want.
I don't know.
They're just going for all the destruction and shit. Like, when you look at it, I've heard people are like, it plays off the Antifa, whatever, the Black Lives Matter riot people. The people who are rioting and doing all that stuff, so they're flipping cars, burning cars, doing all that shit with the masks on. So people are like, oh, this is in poor taste because they're playing off of that.
Well, they did that with the Forgotten Sons in a way. And that was a little too much, so...
I was wondering if they were a part of this.
Could be.
Be a new way of introducing at least two of them. Reintroducing them as this. But I don't know.
At the same time, like you something like that for someone like me who's seen them drop the ball with factions.
Yeah.
I have no hope in it. Maybe someone who's a little younger than me that hasn't seen them drop the ball so many times with it, they'll be looking forward to it. But I'm gonna have to wait till we see what the real intention is and if they're gonna push them or like. You're not gonna have them just destroy the whole ring. We've seen.
I'm at the point where it's like, okay, just tell me who they are. Like, you're not doing anything to make me more interested or more suspense to see who these people are. They're just show me who they are.
Is this Vince being petty for Dark Order?
That's another rumor too. But then you have to assume that Vince watches something else.
Oh, we know Vince watches without watching.
Unless it's Bruce Pritchard.
Probably. All of this reeks of Bruce Pritchard.
No, everything is
Raw Underground.
He's the guy. He's the main showrunner right now. He's the main guy of both shows. Like, everything is him right now.
Yeah.
So what? I'll give you an upside. Well, not an upside, but it was pretty cool on Raw. Dominic finally signed his contract with Seth Rollins, then took a freaking kendo stick beating.
Sorry, not a fan. He is. I got to see what he does in the ring because on the mic he is dreadfully boring.
I think that's the first time we've heard him on the mic.
There's nothing there. There's no emotion. Nothing.
No, there won't be for. But what sucks for him is he doesn't get to go through the Performance Center, right? He doesn't get to do all that. They just signed him and put him on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they didn't even from Brock Lesnar to now. Between those times, I don't believe they sent him to the Performance Center to get some work done. Even for talking classes, even if it's not for wrestling, send him there for talking classes.
He is dreadful on the mic.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't get his dad's charisma.
Right now, he's at the he gets the your Ray's son love.
I can't even do that. You know what? It's one thing if you're second or third generation, but you gotta show me something like.
But everybody else got to go through some type of training. Like, who?
Curtis Axel was all right.
He
wasn't great, but he was all right.
He was.
See where there's some promise. You know.
And wrestling wise, he was a beast. Like, in the ring wise, he was a beast. On the mic, he was all right.
He didn't have a character.
No.
And the thing was, even as decent as he was never going to be his father.
Never. Now you just reminded me, like, where's Bo? They need to start that campaign. Where's
Bo?
Bo?
Was amazing.
That's
If
the way
Bo's-
to start his return. Where's Bo? People want to know, where's Bo? That makes no sense. Bo Dallas is gone. Like Curtis Axel, he got released, right? I believe he got released.
Yeah.
But Bo didn't. So where's Bo?
So he's still under contract.
He didn't get released, so he's still there.
But what if his contract run up?
We have to look all this shit because I don't get it. Because Bo Dallas was wicked.
Yeah. Great on the mic. Great in ring work.
And anything they gave him was good. Like when he was running
Even if
around
it wasn't good. Even if it wasn't good, he was into it.
No, that's what I mean. Like whatever you gave him, he was good at or he was into whatever he was doing. Like,
yeah, but like a lot of guys aren't though. Like Cody wasn't into Stardust, but I thought he was.
But
great
he worked it. He worked it.
But he didn't like it. I don't know if Bo liked the Bo Leave character, but I was a Bo Leaver.
No, I love that shit. Like, where is he now? That's crazy. Like, he did the Social Outcasts, Miz Taraj, and the B Team.
I was thinking today about like favorite short-lived characters, like Damien Sandow.
Sandow, bro, listen. Sandow was my dude, bro. That match when he went up against Cena with the Money in the Bank, to this day, he should have won. He should have won. If he won that, he would have been the biggest asshole.
Yeah.
He would have been perfect. He would have been the perfect heel because then John Cena will go after him and he'll just down him like, who are you? Like, I can't even see you. So it's like, it's like, what the hell, man? I was so upset when he lost because you knew as soon as he lost,
that was it.
Down he goes. I was so upset, man.
Like the game said, Dre said, "Ain't no coming back from gold."
For real though, yo, I was hurt. I took it personally.
Yeah, that was not cool, man. Got our hopes up with the Money in the Bank, and then the very next night.
So upsetting, man. I still feel it to this day. Like he was gonna be the wickedest heel, and the dude came in the ring and did a cartwheel. He did a cartwheel.
He was an upgraded, improved version of the Genius.
Yes. And he did it well, and he was into the character.
He was great at it.
Man, I'm so upset. Like, if they were ever to bring him back, that's the only character they could bring him back in. Not no Mizdow shit. Not no whatever. It'll have to be Sandow.
They could go right back to Mizdow if they wanted.
Hell, Mizdow was good, but
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was like a moment thing. Like, he has to come back as Sandow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They could bring it back as Mizdow.
But also, in the news, we got to give a big R.I.P.
Kamala.
to the Ugandan Giant. Kamala. Man passed away last week. They said it was because of COVID, but he had COVID, but he was in and out of the hospital already anyway. So, it's kind of like, what was the last thing you had? And they kind of just, we'll give you that. That's what you died from. Yeah. But, yeah, man. So I was just reading a lot of shit, seeing the people, like, talk about Kamala. Do you have any actual memories of him wrestling?
I do. I think the one that sticks out the most is when he had the feud with Undertaker, and he was scared of the casket.
Yes, Yes, I remember that. Yes, now that you say it.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. I can't. You tell me it, I'll remember it. But you're like, oh, remember something? Not at all. That,
Yeah. I remember. I remember his matches having to go through like his trainer. His trainer's like, "No, you can't pin him like that. That's not gonna. You gotta roll
Yeah.
him over." I mean, the character was wildly racist. That's
That was gonna be my question. That was gonna be my question. Do you
Keep it a
believe that
buck.
character was was racist?
Wildly racist.
Why? Why do you believe it was racist? Wildly racist.
He had a trainer. Like, where do we start?
Okay, so I was reading about because it started with Jerry Lawler, right? It started in Memphis territory.
Yeah.
Lawler actually came up with it. So what he based it off of is big at the time was Idi Amin, the Ugandan president, and how he was a cannibal. So he pretty much focused on the cannibal part. And like coming from the jungles of Uganda, that's where Idi Amin comes in. Then giant because he was like 6'6". So
A
it's
good
like
350 probably.
yeah.
Legit.
But he was saying that as a wrestler, he wasn't that good. Like his punches weren't that good or anything wasn't that good. So in doing this, it was a way to be
Hiding his
like
flaws.
yeah, hiding his flaws. It's telling him like, hey, because you come from the jungle, because you come from the African jungles, you have no clue what wrestling is. It's just
Yeah.
that this guy came and he found you and he brought you in. So yeah. Oh shit. I forgot what the tattoos, like what the paint was from. But that came from like another show or movie like Children of Flies or something like that. And you saw like the design. Oh no. Whatever movie had a lot of like Indians back in those days. So like whatever the way they used to depict them. But
Okay.
he was taking stuff from that and using that's where that paint came in on his belly and all that stuff. And the whole slap in the belly and all the stuff like that,
Yeah.
that was him himself. Those are like little things was stuff that he brought into the picture.
Wow.
So, but that's the story behind it. But as virgin eyes seeing it for the first time, we were like,
Yeah, even as
really?
even as a little kid, you're just like, this is not.
Like,
Something's
really?
wrong.
Honestly, true say he wasn't any one of my favorites at all. Based off of that, looking at him, I was like, okay, like why is he an African savage? And then when you go in the ring and not know anything, so I'm like, so he's stupid. And like as a child, I don't know. 'Cause I can't say even as a child it was like, oh, because he's black and I noticed they're treating him this way. But it was just something like you can look at it and it just felt like you're demeaning this man.
Yeah, because I mean, like, as a kid, I could see the difference between someone like Mr. Fuji interpreting for Yokozuna.
Right.
I could see that. But this guy was just like, he was like an animal trainer.
Yeah, yes.
And it was just kind of like,
It was like what's it called? A
it was like
ringmaster.
he was a zookeeper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
he was a memorable character.
yes.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
but
a favorite character. He was a memorable. Like I don't remember much about like who he had feuds with other than Undertaker because of the casket. I just
yeah.
remember. I
Hulk
just
Hogan was
remember.
the first feud, they said. Hulk Hogan's the
Yeah,
first feud.
yeah,
So like he was at the top of the card. You know what I mean? He did do his things at the top of the card. We don't know if his pay matched because I believe many a times I've saw different things of him looking for money or open up GoFundMe's for his legs because remember his two legs were amputated. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if he was making Hogan money at that time,
Well, he was
but
feud with Hogan.
he was big up there.
About as good as you're gonna get as far as getting Hogan money at the time. If you're not Hogan,
Trust me. When I think about it, I'm like, that should have been their exit. To me, as soon as I feud with Hogan, that's my exit. Because I just feuded with Hogan. So if I go to Japan, if I go to somewhere else, they just seen me feud with Hogan. I'm like the biggest name right now.
yeah. And there's nowhere else to go on the card in WWE.
Nowhere. Once you're done with Hogan, you'll have wicked matches with good characters, but who's to say it's gonna be super memorable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a wicked match with Ted DiBiase or Mr. Perfect and all them, but people aren't going, "Yo, did you see that Ted DiBiase?" No, people are just like, "Yo, Hogan again." Like he had a stranglehold. Like
It's like I was watching. I think it was either Jake Roberts or what's his name, Honky Tonk Man. They were talking about how people assess matches. What's the best match? He was like, "What's the best match on on WrestleMania 3?" And someone was like, "Steamboat and Savage." He was like, "Well, did they draw the most money?" And like, no. Well, then that's not the best match. The best match is Hogan and Andre the Giant. They're the ones who are the top bill.
they're the reason.
That's
Yeah,
who,
they're the
that's
ones
who
that people came to
90,000
see.
plus people paid to see.
Yeah,
So, shoot, like if you're at the top of the card for that, like you got
it's
the
true
best
though.
match. You're getting paid the most. So
It looks like we got extra time. But yeah, again, I want to say R.I.P. to Kamala.
all right, Pete.
Um, oh, talking about the Golden guys. Did you see Ric Flair take a punt this week?
I heard about it. I didn't watch much of Raw, but I heard about it. They wrote him out because he's taking time off.
Something like that. But I've also heard this is a swerve.
Is that so?
So the way that it happened, all through Raw, like the lights were going out. Retribution, right? So when Randy goes to do the punt, he runs, lights go out, lights go back on, Ric Flair's down. So you don't see the punt. So the rumors online is that it's gonna be a swerve in the end, and that's how Randy's gonna be Drew. Ric Flair's gonna come back, flip on Drew, plot from the very beginning. Randy Orton's now the champion with Ric Flair by his side.
I'm down for that.
That's what they say, but I was arguing with Ro yesterday. He was talking about WWE better be careful, or Ric Flair's gonna show up on AEW. I said, listen, the only reason why Ric Flair is getting written off at WWE is that Ric Flair wants to get in the ring. It's Ric Flair. He's like, yeah, but he has a pacemaker, and I'm like, it's Ric Flair. He wants to get in the ring. I'm like, if you just watched on Monday, he got punted.
Yeah.
Like he still wants to be in the ring. Like if AEW brings Ric Flair over there, he's gonna sweet talk himself in that ring into a match. He's like, no, they wouldn't let him do it. I said, listen, come on now. This is Ric Flair. Ric Flair will figure out a way. He just figured out a way on WWE television to do it.
Yo. Jeff Hardy was on a main event pay-per-view. High out of his mind.
Yes. That was the one against Sting, right? Sting, the look on Sting's face was just like, ah, really?
Like, I got to deal with this.
Yep. Didn't they dead it quick? He just pinned him and was just kind of like told him, stay down. And just walked out type thing.
They got out of there fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But
He's come a long way. We're talking about Jeff Hardy. He's come a very, very long way.
yeah.
But, and also, last thing we'll talk about. How did you feel about the Fiend and Alexa Bliss? moment.
I'm
So
surprised we didn't talk about it. Oh yeah, it just happened.
yeah, it just happened. So no, he kidnapped her at the end of the show, 2 SmackDowns ago. But then on the last SmackDown, he reappeared with her,
In the
and
ring.
yeah, and she appeared to have Stockholm syndrome type thing. And the way it looked, it kind of turned out to look like her and Bray has something where the rumor is that they're actually going to have a wedding. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. It's going to work into a wedding. But if you listen to the whole thing, it almost played out like the Fiend was the baby face and Braun was the heel. Because Braun came in and said, I don't care about Alexa Bliss. I don't care. I want you. And he was just screaming whatever as Braun screams. But the way it played out is the Fiend is now the babyface with a face only a mother can love.
You see why I'm slowly tuning all of this out.
Yeah. True say, I had to look up this week. I didn't really see much. I caught heard a few of the news. You know, Ro just talks about AEW.
Best thing going on that is MJF.
When he's on.
Yeah, even when he did the address last week.
Say they give
like
him like 5 minutes, then they let everybody else run wild. Like he should be all over the show every week. Every week.
I don't know about that. I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything big, but he should have big parts of the show. He should be having matches. He should be having matches. And not just talking all the time. And every time he has a match is only on the big matches. But anyways. It's AEW. But yeah.
Next pay-per-view is
SummerSlam. I believe it's in 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks.
SummerSlam in 2 weekends. So next week we'll do ours. Oh, I was down your way today too. And I should have came in, what's it called? Picked up my belt. My big belt. Do you keep it shiny for me?
I have to.
Thank you,
it's going to be mine again, so
we'll see. I'm on a 3-show winning streak right now.
You act like you're the first to do it. I'm the blueprint.
No, I started this. I was the first champion, and then you came and stole my belt for a show.
Stole.
You stole it, because then I kept it. I took it back, and then I kept it ever since.
For someone very good with words, you make poor decisions when it comes to the truth.
You mean stole?
Yeah.
It is a proper word. It's in the dictionary.
Oh, it's in the dictionary. It just doesn't pertain in this context. But yeah, SummerSlam, I'll have my belt back. So
we'll see. You know, I stays in the dirt sheets. I stays in the dirt sheets. Oh, Slim didn't show up at all.
Nah. He must have passed out or something.
He probably didn't watch nothing. He was like, I ain't got nothing to talk about.
I wouldn't say
he got nothing to talk
I
about.
wouldn't blame him. Because it's just, to me, there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah, they need to slow down. Actually, a quick point about Raw Underground is I felt a Raw Underground style of like change should have been like a whole company thing, almost like a restart. You know what I mean? Like where they tell people like, no, you're going to earn your place. So you earn your place in the underground, and that gets you on the main stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they play it in a way. But see what you're going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, is if that's what they can do, then cool, because now you don't have to worry about NXT being that.
Exactly. Now, NXT can still be NXT because the underground is like to prove your toughness type thing. You know what I mean? NXT is still, that's wrestling. That's technique. That's, you know what I mean? Underground is just like prove your worth. And it could be for the people who aren't on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you want to get on TV, prove you should be on TV. Show your toughness. Let's get yourself out there. And then they throw those people in there. They fight their way onto either Raw. Well, it's Raw Underground, so on Raw. And that way, it's their way of getting, like how you said, if you win everything, you get an opportunity at the Intercontinental belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not the main belt, the Intercontinental there.
Yeah.
And that happens maybe every 3 months.
And you can go back to managers and have them like trainers.
Yep. Yeah. That
So
way,
you can-
because you know they
you
don't
can
like
bring
all the
in-
managers anymore, so you can be like, this is his trainer and this is his trainer. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and you've got guys who were furloughed, or laid off. You can bring some of them back in trainer roles.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So much to do.
Film
But-
film a bunch of vignettes with them. Have them on part-time schedule. You know what I'm saying?
There's something quick.
Do it in the bubble.
There's something quick. They're still there. They're furloughed. Like, they're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bring them in. Give them, even if you don't bring them in to the office, bring them in as the talent, as a trainer.
Yeah.
Boom, give them that.
Yeah.
There's so much. Another point on Retribution. There is that rumor that, which would be kind of dope, that they are wrestlers that were laid off. So say it was Rusev, Aiden English, I guess. Like whoever is not signed yet. So Rusev, Aiden English, Leo, someone else, one of the girls who got signed, and then have Leo Rush as the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And let Leo Rush, like, Leo, when you get the mic, CM Punk it. Like, do your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about everything. They
So much
might tell
to
them, slow down on the race stuff. Don't blatantly call us racist, but let us know that there's things racially that are there.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's out there. But yeah, so again, this is another episode of the Casual Fan Podcast.
Follow us
me.
on
Yeah.
Follow us on IG at Casual Fan Podcast, shotclubpodcast.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. You never know when we're going live, and the new episode is up from the Zoom episodes.
Shot
And-
Club,
Shot Club, shotclubpodcast.com.
where Mo is talking about Brazilian farts.
And
Bro,
WAP.
You know, it's funny, that clip, watch that clip again and tell me it's not missing David's laugh.
Yes.
It's missing David's laugh. I think we need to get that push button thing with everybody with one sound. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for joining us at the Casual Fan Podcast. Find him at Trace Motivate on Instagram. Find me at Chezza Casual Fan Podcast
And
Shot
Slim.
Club Podcast. And Slim, Mr. Steven
Slim.
_S. Make sure you check him too. And we're here. Oh, Wednesdays. IG Live, Shot Club Podcast. I don't know how many times I can say Shot Club Podcast, but I said it enough times. Find us there every Wednesday. We go live too.
Yeah.
Best
Peace.
of.